If you look at territory, which is one of the key ones, President Trump has already suggested that Crimea is off the table. It isn't going to be part of that negotiation. It is worth pointing out that Crimea was originally part of the Soviet Union. They'd fought hundreds of years ago for the strategically important port of Sevastopol down in the south there. In 1954, Khrushchev had handed that to Ukraine, largely for administrative purposes, when Ukraine was actually just a county of the Soviet Union at the time. Of course, when the Soviet Union collapsed, Russia and Ukraine very nearly went to war over Crimea, and there was an accommodation made at the time. And of course, but now that's why in 2014, following about 2 decades of Ukraine starting to look further to the west for economic support, and with NATO starting to become on the agenda, that the Russians moved into Crimea. Now, having got in there, it'd be incredibly difficult military operation to liberate that. And that's why many people think that Crimea is not a useful negotiating tool at the moment. Having moved into that, though, Russia built a bridge across the Kursk to actually join this to Russia itself. But, of course, that was incredibly vulnerable. And as the years went by, that's why that Russia had started a sort of insurgency up in the Donetsk region and tried to build this land bridge across the region. Now, why the focus on the Donbas region? Well, a lot of its mineral resources and the like. This is the one area that Russia hasn't yet taken. But this isn't about just trying to get to the borders. It's not like they're trying to secure Somerset. Why is this actually key? If we go zoom in a little bit further, there's a line of cities, towns, based on road junctions and rail junctions, strategically important, that are, if they are going to be very difficult for Russia to take. If you remember the battle for Bakhmut back 18 months ago, about 60,000 people died in that battle, about 18 months. So it's really difficult for any of these to fall. Russia is, of course, paranoid that if they don't take these, then there is the danger that Ukraine in the future cuts the land bridge and therefore isolates the Crimea. From a Ukrainian perspective, if these were to fall, there's lots and lots of free area up here that Russia could actually rampage across. The real key here, though, is what is going on in President Putin's mind. Is his ambition still to take the whole of Ukraine, or is it simply to secure this land bridge? If it's just the land bridge, then the conversation is about territory and it's about security guarantees, and therefore there's just the faintest prospect of a negotiated settlement. If actually Putin's ambition is still the whole of Ukraine, then I'm afraid all of this is just window dressing. It's Putin playing for time, and frankly, we're no closer to any sort of solution than we were a few weeks ago.